Welcome, welcome, welcome to the call, everyone. Glad to be back. Looking forward to the call tonight. Looking forward to it. I think we are week lesson 6, and we got a lot of great stuff to get into tonight. So we're gonna get started. And with lesson 6, I want to kind of go back over some stuff and then make some stuff, get some clarity on some stuff. But I'm gonna turn it over to Barbara so we can get started. And I'll be right back. Over to you, Barbara.
Thank you very much. Here is our disclaimer for Futures Commodities Trading Group. Trading and investing carries a high level of risk. You could lose some or all of your investment. Trading commodities or any other financial instrument may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. We accept no liability for any losses or damages you may incur. This means that you alone are responsible for your actions in any trading or investing activities.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. We had 2 quizzes, I believe. 2 quizzes that I want to make sure we talk about, go over. And if you want to say a few words, Barbara, about anything, we can do that now, or you want to talk a little later. But we got 2 quizzes. If either you or Dr. Melvin can grab those. And
Okay, I'll say something while Dr. Melba's getting the quizzes. Of course, everyone knows that we will be having a retreat in April. We are so excited. This is year number 2 for futures and commodities and options. Everybody get excited. You need to be excited. You need to be there. If you're looking to make an investment on yourself, if you're looking to change the course of your life, then this is where you need to be. It's going to be amazing strategies. If you're the person that says, even though I come, I still need some help on getting started. I need some advice. I need to know which way to go, what to do. We got you covered. We're going to have one-on-ones like we mentioned last Sunday, that 4th day. All you have to do is sign up, email me and let me know. I'll post the invite. I'll post the website, how you can get registered for the retreat after the call. You want to be here. You want to really take advantage of starting this type of business where you can paper trade, you can really learn and make all the mistakes. It's one thing to make a mistake with fake money, but it's different to make it with real money. That's a totally different thing. So the good thing about this, when you paper trade, you make a mistake, it's not your real money, even though you're treating it like a business. You want that type of security to start a business. And this is the type of business you can start. So I just encourage everybody to, if you're looking for a change, if you're really serious about this and you want to do it, then make your way to Arizona in April. You will not be disappointed. You will leave with more than what you probably expected you would ever get. We have great mentors every day. We have so many great things planned for you guys that you're just going to be so glad that you came. So I just encourage everyone, get excited about April because it's going to be a month, an epic month that you're not going to forget.
thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. So we always get started. We always talk about quizzes that we had throughout the week before we get into the lesson, so we can make sure we talk about them, get clarity, and make sure everybody's clear about that. Dr. Melville, were you able to get those?
Yes, I sure do. So the first quiz was corn December 23 chart. And the quiz question said, did corn do a 50% retracement? A, no, B, yes, C, maybe, D, all of the above, E, none of the above.
In this particular quiz, we had a chart that we wanted to look at, right? We wanted to look at this chart and determine whether or not it did a 50% retracement, which is something we talked about last week. And we went over the formula for a 50% retracement. We talked about the fact that charts make 50% retracement all the time. And what is a retracement? Retracement means that the market turned around, traded back in the other direction, which is retracing and turning around back in the other direction. Basically, 50% means that it made a retracement of half of the move that it just made. And that's what we're talking about when we say, did it make a 50% retracement? I know it may be a little late or a lot over in London, but I want to ask V if she can unmute. V, I know it's late in London, but are you able to unmute for a second? She may not be able to. Well, let me just ask.
You just unmuted, sir.
You did?
Hi there.
Hey, V, I know it's late in London and I'm calling on you.
Mhm.
But I know you study and look at the 50% retracement a lot, do a lot of
Yeah.
charts. What was your answer on this, and what was your take on the chart that we had on the quiz?
I thought, okay, to do a 50% retracement, you take the top value, the bottom value, you add them together and you divide them by 2. That's how you do it officially. But that chart was just such a wonderful and easy chart to read. I could see the 50% retracement just by looking at that chart without doing any calculations whatsoever.
So your answer is that it did make a 50% retracement, or no?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Correct. And I agreed. I think that chart was such a great one to use. Like you said, you was able to spot it without even doing the formula, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was a brilliant chart to see a 50% retracement even before you do the
Wow.
calculations.
Yes, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want, make sure we are clear on this. So I noticed not everybody answered that quiz. So I'm not sure because I can't tell if y'all want to answer the quiz where you at. So I think we may need to revisit looking at this on the chart, Johnny B, to make sure everybody's clear on this 50% retracement. And we want to make sure before we move forward. So
We also put a challenge out there last week,
Yeah.
remember?
yeah,
For 5 charts, 50%
Mhm.
retracement for everyone to just kind of just launch out into the deep.
yes.
I know Barbara just put in the chart who took the challenge. You guys want to raise your hands if you're going to be bold enough to say I took the challenge and did it. Don't know if I did it right, but I sure did it.
I think I saw Norma. I think I saw Norma
All right,
saying
Jamal. Good
Yeah.
job, Jamal. Jamal said he launched out in the deep and he did his 5 charts. Anybody else?
Awesome.
Where's Zully? I know Zully. Is Zully on tonight? Oh, there she is. I know Zully. Oh, she looked at them. Okay, because I know Zully's on her charts every day, looking at her stuff, her videos.
Mhm.
Anybody else besides Jamal? And it's all good. You have this week. You can do it again. It's not just 1 week challenge. We can take it into the next week. Maybe you'll learn a little bit more tonight and you'll feel a little bit more encouraged. But either which way. So the next quiz. All futures exchanges are closely supervised by the governmental CFTC. A, false. B, sometimes. C, true. D, all of the above. E, none of the above. All futures exchanges are closely supervised by the governmental CFTC.
Do we know him?
Yes.
I
Dr.
say
Member,
no.
this is this was a quiz that I was really looking forward to because I said I wanted to put this quiz out, that it would be a quiz for everyone, not just for the new people. I wanted to do something that would make everyone in the room have to think a little bit. So the reason I wanted to, couldn't wait to talk about this one because I wanted to make sure we clear on this one. Um, anybody want to say?
Well, Shar made me think twice about my question because she said supervised and regulated
Yeah.
are synonyms. And I
Yeah,
said, and I was like, so I looked them up and I was like,
well,
definition
this-
of regulated and supervised to me did not look exactly the same. Regulated seemed like it just, well, to me, it just seemed like it just was more black and white.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to see. That's why I'm curious to see if anybody wanted to tell us what their answer was.
I'll go ahead and say it. I said A, false, because they are highly regulated, not supervised by the CFTC.
Highly regulated, not supervised by the CFTC.
I went along
All
with
right.
A as well. Yeah, with false.
So what I want to do right here, because I want us to be clear about this. This is why I want to talk about this, because I noticed some stuff when I made this. But Barbara, I want you to if you can do me a favor, I want you to Google these words for me, okay?
Okay.
What does regulate mean?
I actually pulled it up in a dictionary already for you, if you want me to read what the dictionary says.
Okay.
Yeah, I want her to
You want
read
it
what
Googled? Okay,
the
Google it,
definition-
Barbara. He wants it
the
Googled.
definition for what I just said. What does regulate mean?
What does regulate mean? Okay. Regulate is control or supervise something, especially a company or business activity, by means of rules and regulations.
Can you read that again?
I sure will. Control or supervise something, especially a company or business activity, by means of rules and regulations.
Jamal, based
Yes,
on
sir. Yes, sir.
based on hearing what Barbara just read, what is the answer to the quiz?
The answer would then have to be true, not false.
The answer would then have to be true. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I noticed I think everybody kind of went left and got through a curve when Norma Jean posted in the room about regulated versus supervised, as if they were different when they actually had the same meaning. So just changing that one word in the quiz was something that I wanted to do just to make everybody think. So as you can see, the answer is true. Supervise, regulate, same meaning. So hope everybody got that, understood that. We already knew who the organization that regulated the futures market, but I want you to know that if I said who supervises the market, it's the same thing as who regulates the market, okay? Make sure we clear about that. But thank you all for taking that quiz. It was something I wanted everybody to think about, okay? That's why I threw that word in there and changed it from regulate to supervise. Any questions on that? Everybody clear?
I thank you for that. Because like you said, the person at top who made the differentiation, which wasn't, those of us who said, okay, that sounds good. Did we understand, or did we do what you just did? Rather than just saying, oh, that other one sounds good. So we didn't do the research that we needed to do. So I thank you for that, for throwing that one in there like that.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. It's
For me,
It's,
may I,
it's
may I,
good. It's good for us to make sure we clearly understand, and I don't want y'all to be confused about nothing that we go over. So I
Mm.
want to make sure we clear. And then on that particular question, um, normally I would have said who regulates, the futures market, but I changed that word on purpose to see if we will all do some thinking and kind of come up with, okay, well, what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
let's see.
Well, great. So, as I was, I get calls throughout the week when we had these classes, and wait a minute, Zoe, did I interrupt you? Zoe, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, yes, I wanted to ask you because the word all also threw me off. And when I was doing the research, it also mentioned the SEC having some involvement, not only the CFTC, but also the SEC, even though we have not discussed the SEC in the course to some extent. So
Great
that threw
point.
also me also the word all. I researched the definition of supervised and regulated, but then the keyword of all and how the SEC and CFTC are involved versus regulation. So I went way off.
No, it's okay. Great point. And since you brought it up, I want to make sure we clear and understand their role because they have a role, just like CFTC has a role. So the CFT regulates the derivatives, and the SEC regulates the securities.
Right.
And that's the difference from where the two does the regulation when it comes to the futures market. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So we really don't mention them because we're not trading securities, right?
Right,
So
but that's what confused me because in one of the wherever I can't remember which search engine I used to be able, and they mentioned both when it involved futures, and so that's what threw me off with the word all. But I get it. Thank you.
you're
Hey,
welcome.
can I throw something in there? This is Joshua.
Absolutely.
Hey, so I can see why you're confused because there's another organization called FINRA, and they regulate all broker dealers, which is also in the futures market and in the securities market. And the SEC regulates FINRA. So when you look up who regulates futures market, you'll see the SEC jump in there because they're all kind of tied together a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm glad we had some clarity on that, everybody. Thank y'all once again for that. Not able to see our participants and don't know if, let me look through the participants that I haven't seen the name that I was looking for. Maybe having trouble getting on.
They're there.
So say it again, Barbara.
They're there.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the name.
Yeah, they're there.
Okay. So before we get started, you might have seen me talk about a special guest on the call tonight. And I'm sure you could tell from my post, I was excited about that special guest, right? So let me talk about who I'm talking about and bring this gentleman on the call. But one of my longtime friends, I'll say fifth, maybe sixth, I can't remember which grade, but fifth or sixth grade. We've been friends ever since. Been friends our whole life. But when I stumbled upon trading, we jumped into this endeavor and started trading together. And boy, I went through a lot with this guy. I mean, we talked about this on old calls. If you went back and looked at any of the old calls, but I got in the market with one of my best friends, Eric McBride, 30 years ago, back in 1994. And man, boy, do we have some stories together. But when it comes to the markets, I have so much respect for Eric when it comes to these markets because this guy is so sharp when it comes to not just the market, but businesses, period. He's a very, very successful business guy. And you know, they have a family business, very successful family business. And I'm gonna say, um, just about every woman on the call probably knows a company by the name of Design Essential. They've been in the hair industry for a very long time, family owned business, and very successful businessman. So when it comes to business, Eric is very familiar with making business decisions. And when it comes to trading, very successful when it comes to trading in the market. And I wanted him to come on the call. Many of you have been asking about, Eric coming back on the call. And just somebody that you can learn a whole lot from. And I'm not going to hold us up because we already went over some stuff. I want Eric to talk, share whatever he wanted to share with us. But Eric McBride, man, can you talk to the people, man? Talk to us, man. Let us know what's on your mind. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm doing great, D. I'm doing great, dog. It's good to see you. Good to see you still doing your thing, you know. And I mean, it's an exciting time, man, to see, this many people interested in a life change, and like I said, I remember when we started this journey, and it's always a journey, it's still a journey, but man, it's been great. It's been great, man.
Yeah, man. Man, tell people a little bit about yourself, man, for those who don't know you, man, and then, just talk to us, man. We got a lot of people that's coming in, joining the group. We got a lot of new traders, man, who are new to the industry. They just starting their journey, man, and getting some tips and advice from somebody been around the market as long as you have, man, would be some great nuggets that they could walk away with, man.
Man, okay. Man, wow. Well, I'm gonna say welcome to, the start of what could possibly be the trajectory that's going to take you to somewhere that you possibly never imagined in your life that you would be doing what you're doing. And I want to say that, but before the excitement, I want to first make sure that my takeaway is to make sure everybody understands that this is a business. This is not a play. It's not a play toy. It's not it's not something that you're just deciding to do because you just got some extra money that you want to gamble away with or anything like that. But I mean, if your mindset is already there, and if you're not on the path that you're opening up a viable business, just like anything else, whether it's brick or mortar, if you're not there, then I suggest that you get there, because if you don't get there, you're gonna see that success is not gonna be probably on your doorsteps. It's not that you won't be successful, but it has to be treated in a way just like you treat anything else that you may do in your life, and that is to make sure that it is a business that's being set up, and that there's rules that has to take place when you're creating a business. And those two things alone, because this market is not about intelligence, it's actually about emotional discipline. That's actually what gets you through, because if it was about intelligence, I promise you everybody would be making money, but it does not work like that. It's people who can control their emotions, because these markets are very emotional, and once you get into your career, you'll see that these charts that Delvin are teaching you about, these different things, these things actually speak to you. They'll wake you up in your sleep. They'll tap you on the shoulder, and they'll say, look at me, and they'll scream at you. They'll yell at you, but they're a live, viable component to the business. And if you take these rules, if you take the rules of the business and apply those first, there's no way that you really can't be successful in being a part-time trader. There's so many people that most of us walk around, every single day, and we wonder as we're driving in our cars, what do these people do? It's like everybody's not working. What's going on? It's a lot of people who are actually waking up in the morning. They're putting on an hour, 2 to 3, 4 hours worth of trading, and they're going about their day. But they understand that it was something that they set up in the beginning, and when they set the business up, that it wasn't a marathon type situation that they was going. It wasn't a get rich type scheme that they was jumping into. That this was something that it was going to take some fortitude. It was going to take some studying. It was going to take some research to understand the whole lingo behind what it is that you're doing. And you have to. It's one of those things you have to speak. You have to speak it. You have to talk it every day. You have to put the lingo in your whole soul and your body, and make this a part of who you become, because trading is a way of life. It's something that I'm sure that, anybody that's on this call probably have already experienced, that it's something that's it's contagious. It's addictive. You want to do it all the time. You just constantly want to put strategies, but I would first put forth that you first set the business up right, that you have the rules in place, that you follow the rules to the T, that you don't go and break, any rule as relates to the reward risk ratio that you may put out there once you see a trade, because we all get emotional, on trades and stuff, and you may see something that just speaks out to you, and you just want to grab it, or a friend told you about it, and all those different things. But the chances of those being successful, it's a possibility, but you have a greater possibility of you losing some money if you don't do the research. Trading without a stop, a stop loss, that's one of those keys I would tell anybody that I speak to that's trading. Never, ever, ever, never trade without having an exit plan and a stop loss in place. So you should know exactly what the plan is when you get in the trade. You should know exactly where you're trying to go, and you should know your exit strategy. You got to make the charts your best friend. Those have to be your best friend, and you have to study those charts. You have to study the trends. You have to know, that if you're going to get into a trade, you have to think about it. If you get into a trade and you don't know where the trend of this trade is going, that's just going into something blind. So you want to make sure that you're understanding the trends of what it is that you're doing, and you understanding how to read the charts, because they're not difficult. But these basic things that Delvin and the team that teaching, these basic things can basically take you and take your career for 30 years, 40 years, just staying within the basic. Now, yes, you can, I'm not sure where you all at on the lesson, but I'm sure eventually you'll get into learning formations and indicators and different things like that as you venture off into some advanced education, even away from here, because it's a study, all the time to make sure that the business stays successful. Nobody's going to be responsible for making sure the business is successful, but yourself. And anybody that you speak to, make sure that you're speaking to them as it relates to it's a business that you just opened up, and that you're actually nurturing this business, you're learning this new business, and that you're actually studying charts and doing the full 9 yards for the business. And my takeaway, to end is to promise that, if you put forth the effort in this business, which, me and Delvin discovered a long time ago, that it's the world's most perfect business. There is no business better than trading. I mean, I couldn't imagine myself not trading, and I can't imagine, so many millions of people that walk around on a day-to-day basis that never took the step that you people took that's on this call. I mean, they'll go a lifetime, but never to pause for a moment just to say, could I possibly learn how to be a trader myself? Could I be my own? Could I invest my own dollars? You know what I mean? Do I always have to go and depend on somebody else to make money? Can I learn how to make money on my own? And my answer to that, to everybody that's on this call, is yes, yes, and loud. I mean, from a roar, yes. Everybody can make money in the markets. I don't care if you're in the 5th grade, you can make money in these markets if you're disciplined. And I always keep coming back to discipline. And as everybody's career moves forward, and I'm gonna end with this, as everybody's career in trading moves forward, you're gonna find the one word that's gonna keep you in the game, the one word that even if you put on a bad trade and lose it all and decide that you're going to go on the sideline for a minute and then come back, you're going to find that this one word of emotional discipline is going to take you so far to where I just implore everybody to put it in your heart. Emotional discipline. This is a marathon. Take time with yourself. Don't get frustrated. Learn what it is that Delvin and the team is teaching you, because these traits will be able to then turn to other family members, and you will be able to change family structures with these simple tools that Delvin that he's teaching, and that this is going to follow everybody on this call for the rest of all of our lives. We're all in this together. There's no one person who's just so much better than the other person, because, like I said, trading is a customizable thing. One person on this call can turn around in a couple of months from now and come back on this call and has put on a trade and say, wow, man, I can't believe that I just made, 6 figures, just that quick, you know what I mean? And the possibility is great. So I'll just say, be serious about the career that you're starting. Learn something every day. Put a lingo in your heart every day. Talk the lingo, sleep the lingo, and just remember that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I think that if you follow just these few things right here, I truly feel that it's the catalyst for everything that you could possibly hope for in this career. I mean, and so I'll just end. I didn't mean to take too long, Delvin, but I just, from my heart to everybody that's on this call, heart is that we all maintain discipline, including myself. I'm speaking to myself. I get emotional as well. Even being 30 years into this game, I still get emotional and have to fight. And I call Delvin whatever. We have to keep each other in check. And so so I just want to say, just stay disciplined and keep the business open, keep the doors open to the business from here on out.
Hey man, I don't want you to feel no way about how long you've been speaking, man, because it's an honor, and I'm sure everybody. I'm speaking for everyone. It's an honor to have a trader of your caliber on the call to speak to us, man, and with your experience and knowledge of this, being around it so long. I know, you've seen all the changes, you know, trading it, the market doesn't stay the same. It's always changing. And there's been a lot of changes that took about and came about since we got in these markets, man. And you touched on one thing I was already thinking of while you were speaking, man, because something that you always say, man, you never know. One trade can change somebody's life. I've heard you talk about that many times, man, and it's important to, like you said, these rules that we follow, man. In the beginning when we started, I shared with people all the time that we wasn't following rules. That was one of the biggest mistakes we were making. We had to figure that out, and we thought we were treating it like a business when we got started, right? We would meet up, man. I know you remember. And go out to Lenox Mall, man. Like we was running the business, man, with our charts and stuff. And
oh my goodness, man. Those were the
yeah,
days.
man. So, one trade could change somebody's life forever, man. That's how it can happen in these markets. But just having your wisdom, man, and your knowledge, in the game, man, for so long, I'm sure, people getting a lot of value. I'm gonna see if any of the co-hosts want to say anything, man, because people have been asking, how you doing and where you at, and could you come on the calls, man? So I wanna, first I wanna thank V for. I've heard it from many people, but she was the last one to say something to me about it, about reaching out and having you come on, and it's late over in London, but she may want to say a few words because she really has a lot of respect for you as well. But any of the co-hosts or via, if any one of y'all want to say a few words, I'm gonna open it up to y'all.
Hi there, V here. I just wanted to say that there's a lot of volumes in the whole series. So after you've gone through this volume, you can go back and watch older volumes. And I never stop saying it, that one of the best volumes is lesson 3 of a volume that came about 3 years ago. And that was where you, Delvin, and Mr. Eric took that class. And honestly, that got me so excited about trading, and that made me believe that I could really do this from listening. And I've gone back and I've watched that episode 3, over and over and over and over again, because I think that's one of the best in the whole series that you've ever done. And it's just inspiring to hear. It really is. And it spurs you forward. It makes you believe you can do it. And it makes you just want to just learn everything that you can possibly learn and to start doing it. And it also, the most important thing I took from that lesson is following the rules based on what the two of you lost in that trade and the effect that it had on your lives, when you'd made that huge loss. I know Delvin took his family to Disneyland, and he went from 88,000 down to 5,000. And I know Mr. Eric, I lost something like 25,000 on that, and it had a detrimental effect on your lives. And so, yeah, it made me realize just how important the rules are. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. That was great.
Yes. Awesome. I mean, I love the excitement in your voice. You sound like you make me feel like how I felt when I first, when me and Delvin first got together. Just wanted
Hey,
to.
Eric, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning over there, Eric. Where she at, man? It's about
It's
1
what?
o'clock in the morning, and she got that energy, right?
It's just that's commendable, because that's where, you know, success lies in that. You know, success lies in that enthusiasm that you got right there, because that enthusiasm is going to mean a whole lot to you once, as you continue to trade, you know. And you know, and that's that trade, you know, the sugar trade, you know, the old famous sugar trade, you know, that one is the reason why, if I'm talking to anybody, if I don't say anything, if you don't hear anything else, you know, that stop loss is, you know, it's one that will teach you. It will teach you, and it will make you remember her forever. You know, and so, you know, that's very important. I'm glad that you took that away from that, because, you know, that was really one of the main things we wanted. As we talked about it, we wanted, you know, to be able to put out there that, you know, how quick we ran into that trade and how quick it could have been a profitable trade to become, you know, I mean, you know, literally millions of dollars, you know, had we, you know, if we had been in the business maybe a little while longer, maybe, you know, we would have caught it. But to catch a market like that at a time like that, you know, was extraordinary. And, you know, and it's not uncommon to catch a market. You know, these markets are, you know, it's possible to catch many markets like that. You know, we happened to catch that market, but just, you know, just like Mary said, we just did not, we didn't have the business together, like Delvin said, you know, like we thought we should. We had the right mindset of where we were trying to go, but we just had some other things that we just needed to put, some other disciplines that we needed to put in place. And that was making sure that we follow that particular rule. And that was to make sure that we never put on a trade without making sure that we that got a risk reward ratio. We would know what we want to stop out, how much we actually want to risk on that trade, you know. And so with that, but you know, hey, that's neither here there. I think it was, you know, hey, God sometimes, you know, he send things your way, you know, to teach you. And I think he, you know, we learn we learned, you know, and so we've been able to still stay in this game, you know, for as long as we have, and you know, made some great money, you know, over the years, and you know, a lot of great, you know, what we would call doing the dance, you know.
Happy dance.
You know? Every time you're gonna win a trade, you go doing the dance, you know. You oh my goodness, but that's all good. But again, you know, many blessings to everybody for taking this step here to be on this call, you know. And you know, some years from now, Lord willing, we all back, you know, we continue to be around each other. You know, the stories I would look forward to hearing from the class, you know, from the things that they, you know, not only learned, but the trades that they've put on, and the you know, the money that, you know, that they've been able to turn over into their families, and teach your kids, you know, and teach the young ones.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. Eric?
Yes. Hey.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Mel. Thank
Hey,
you so
Dr. Mel.
much. Thank you so much for sharing tonight. So I have one question for you.
Yes,
Are
ma'am.
you gonna be with us at our retreat in April?
Yes, I'm gonna definitely show up there in Arizona there. I mean, I look
Exciting. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Oh
Yes,
wow. That's
I
a new
look forward to
a new excitement. A new excitement, a new encouragement for all of us. Thank you
Yes,
so much for
I
sharing
mean,
what you shared this
hey,
evening.
yes, man. No problem at all. I mean,
I
it's
thought I was the only one that the charts jumped out at, spoke to, and tapped on the shoulder. When you said that, I said I'm on the right road, because I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that out loud to anybody. They think I'm a sugar. So I said, "Oh my word, I'm not the only one." Very good,
Yes,
very good.
yes. Those things are live, aren't they? They got personalities.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, well,
Right,
if, I don't know if Johnny B or Barbara want to say anything, man, but boy, we sure appreciate your
Yeah.
time, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, actually, V stole my thunder because I was going to ask about. So the rule is don't go to Disneyland without a stop loss, right? We
we celebrated,
and
Mr. Johnny B, we celebrated a little too soon.
well, I'll be honest with you. I've been there. I've done that. I'll never forget sitting on it, looking at a big screen TV at the bitter end on Virgin Gorda, going, "I'm in a trade I can't get out of," and watching it just disappear. It was an options trade, but like you say, I've been there, I've done that, and I respect you so much for owning up. We always hear about the big wins.
Yes.
You never hear about the losses or why they occurred. And I think we all kind of watched a deal here recently where, the response was blame it on the markets. Well, the markets have, turned against us. So, da. And Delvin and I just looked at each other and I go, you don't blame things on the market.
No.
You blame things on yourself either.
That's right. That's right.
So anyway, I appreciate you so much coming on to the call and share your experience with us and reinforcing the fact that the rules are the key, the charts and the rules.
Yes, sir.
And with that, anybody can, I heard once upon a time, if you only follow the rule of only risking 10%, if you can't make a winning trade in 10 trades,
that's right,
then you're doing something wrong.
That's right. Go back to paper trading.
Yeah, go back to paper trading. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us.
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnny. It's good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it, man. I don't know if Barbara wanted to say anything, but if you need to go, bro, we gonna look at 50% retracement on the chart again to make sure everybody's clear about that. Because
awesome.
We went over that last week, and I just wanted to look at a couple charts to make sure we are clear on being able to recognize and determine whether or not the market has made a 50% retracement, and to understand the formula and looking at it to see whether or not it has. And I know, man, one of the things that is very important to you is the charts. You have a lot of love for the charts like I do, man. I know the charts. And how many times I heard you say, man, it all starts with the charts. That's where we need to start. That's where everything is decided, where we make our decisions. And you've always put emphasis on how important it is to make sure we understand how to read these charts like it's the back of our hand, right?
That's right. That's right. The charts, you gotta wait. You gotta wait for the confirmations. If you're looking at the charts, you gotta wait. They'll give you confirmations as when you're drawing these. I'm not sure if y'all got into the trend lines and different things like that, but once these things are done, just like you're talking about the 50-cent retracement, that's such a powerful formation to where, you can literally, with just that 50% retracement, you can literally make a living off of that particular formation alone, because, it's so many internal 50% retracements in a market. It's absolutely unreal, but it's identifying and just knowing when you see it, that it's there on the charts. But yeah, that's some really, really that's a really great formation. I'm glad you're teaching them about that. You know, that was one, you know, we love, because if you're going to be looking, if you don't love the charts, you can't love trading without loving the charts. You know, you have to, and I say everybody on the call, the charts are very easy to look at. Don't let CNBC or whatever you're looking at, don't let the intimidation of what it looks like, take you out the game, because it looks like it may be something that's very complicated. Once you learn the support and resistance and the different things about the charts, and looking at the charts for the trend of where it's going and all these small things, you're going to see that the charts are very easy to pick up, and that that everything you do. So I'm sure Delvin told you the trend is your friend, and you'll learn that as you're trading and as you're going through this trend on the charts, like this 50% retracement. If you pay attention to this particular portion of what Delvin is teaching on the 50% retracement, I can guarantee you that you will pick this particular formation up, and you will see this formation happen over and over and over again. And you'll see where you can get in and put your risk reward ratios in place and make money time and time again off of this particular formation alone. So I mean, that's money in your pocket that Delvin's putting. This is money in the pocket right here. We've always loved this 50% retracement. That's always been a favorite. Because it makes sense. But I'm gonna stop there. And let you give these people this 50% retracement information, and many blessings.
Before you go, ENO, everybody, well, maybe the new people don't know, but most people know my favorite market to trade in the futures market. It's obvious that my favorite is corn, and I know what yours is. But you want to tell everybody what your favorite is? Them old beans.
Well, I done went from beans. Beans. I didn't want to trade nothing else but soybeans. Delvin was. I mean, he would make so much money off of corn, and that's when I started. I had no choice but to pay attention. Because I'm like, wow, the beans ain't moving the same like the corn. But Delvin discovered that the corn, and once I added that one into the port, I mean, it allowed us to be able to continue to make some money. But I used to love the soybeans. That was my thing. But I've moved. I still trade. On the financial side, I've been moved to a lot of the Bitcoin and a lot of the cryptocurrencies or whatever the case. But I like all markets. That's why I love this. That's why Delvin said this is the most perfect business in the world, because with all of these markets, you don't have to know nothing about none of them. You know what I mean? You don't have to know absolutely nothing. You just have to know how to read the chart. So you can fall in love with anything, and that's the beauty about this thing, is you can fall in love with so many different commodities, and not really have a clue about what they do. But being a technical trader, you could just really look at the charts and do your thing.
Awesome, bro, man. Like I said, man, if you need to go, man, we definitely
I appreciate
you being
it, D. I got some work I'm doing in the background, but I'm gonna listen in on you. I'm gonna put you all in the background, but I'm gonna stay on the call and listen in on you. But I'm gonna do my little work on the background here.
All right, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak to your people, D. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, we glad you came on, man. I want to just ask if everybody would please affirm, Mr. McBride for coming on. If you want to put some pluses in the chat, or you want to unmute and say, tell the brother, thank you. We want to just give you our appreciation, man. Show you some love for coming on, bro. We appreciate it.
Man, no doubt.
Oh yeah, thanks for hopping on.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Barbara, if you can, just for a few minutes, if we could just look at the SOFR chart. Can we pull that up real quick? And we won't stay on long because I know we've been on already for our time.
Sure. I'll
I just
pull
want
it
to
up.
make sure we clear. If everybody could just be patient with me for about 5 more minutes. So, Barbara, when you go on the bar chart, how you get to that SOFR?
So when I went into bar chart, let's start from the very beginning. So you want to click on the futures tab. And when you click on futures, it says major markets overview. If you click full list, it's going to show you all of the different markets. Of course, the 3-month SOFR is one of the financials. So I'm going to click the financials tab. And from there, I'll scroll my page down just at the bottom here. And I'm going to click 3-month SOFR March 24. And it's going to take me to the futures price page where it shows all of the different months that you can trade, all the way to 2033 that you can trade for this one commodity. That's a lot of contracts. But you want to look over here at volume and open interest. Volume is the number of people that's in the market. Open interest is the number of contracts. If you take notice, January and February has very, very little open interest. So you wouldn't want to trade those just because the whole point of getting in a futures contract is at some point getting out. So the more liquidity you have, the better off you are. So I am assuming you want March, or do you want December? Which one do you want to do?
Doesn't matter. I want to look at that chart. March or either the next contract month.
Okay, we'll go to March 24.
I can't remember which contract month I was looking at.
Might have been March or May, maybe.
Okay.
We'll see if this is the one. If not, I can always switch to May. Okay, so I logged out of my account, so my chart is blank for you.
Can you go, if you don't mind, can you give us the formula again? How do we determine what's the formula for the 50% retracement, Barbara?
You take the highest point on the chart and you add it with the lowest point on the chart, which you see these two little half moon shapes. That lets you know what's the highest price on the chart and what's the lowest. You add those two together, then you divide by the number 2, and that gives you the 50% retracement for whatever time frame you're in. This is 6 months.
Great. Now let me ask you, can we look at this chart and just determine whether or not it has made a 50% retracement or not? If we can take that higher price and that lower price, and let's do the numbers and see if it made a 50% retracement.
Okay. Sure. I'll put the cursor here. If someone wants to do the math, we could do it together. If someone wants to do it. This is the lowest point. Whoever wants to add it on the calculator for me. 94.5463. And then you come up here to the highest price, 95.0626. And if someone can put that on the calculator and tell me what that is and divide by 2, we'll have 50% retracement.
Get those numbers again, Barbara.
94.5476.
It's 189,751 divided by 2 is 94.87255.
94.
0.872.
All right. Thank you, Johnny. Barbara, can you put a line on that at that 94?
94.872.
87255.
There we go.
So as we can see from the lowest price on the chart and the highest price on the chart, and being that 50% level would be around 94. Barbara, did we make a 50% retracement? Did the market retrace back 50%?
It's traded through it. It's already traded. It's already traded through the 50%.
Yes. And not only did it do it, it went way beyond it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
But one thing that you want to notice, when it hit the 50% retracement, notice that it went sideways for a while. Okay.
mhm.
And a 50% retracement typically just says it's going to change. It will change direction. Right?
Right.
But the majority, what was the majority of the times it will continue in the direction that it's going.
Yes. And you know what, Johnny? I got another chart I want us to take a look at right quick before we jump off. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but if we can go to let's go to May Coffee and look at the 5-year chart, Barbara. So coffee would be up on the what?
Coffee is a soft. It's under the last tab. It's under soft. I'm gonna click on May. And May again. There we go.
All right. 5-year chart.
There we go.
Okay. Give us that high and low again, Barbara.
This is the low, 85.53.
Say that one more time.
85.53.
Okay.
And the high is 260.45.
$172.99.
$172.99. Is that our 50% retracement where that line you just put, Barbara?
Yes, sir.
So did we make a 50% retracement on this chart as well or not?
Yes, we have.
Yes, we did. And we heard Eric talk about the fact that it can be many 50% retracement within a chart over and over and over again, right?
Mhm.
Robert, do you see if you can go up from where you was just over to the right, go up right, now go up, go back up to the left, right here, go up, right there where you was at. You just come back down, over to your right. It's downtrend. I want you to go over to that downtrend. So go back over where you was at, to the right. Now go up to the top of that. All the way to the top. Right there. What's that price?
247.89.
And down to the bottom of that trend. You got that, Johnny?
$151.91.
What is it?
151.91.
$199.9.
What is 191.9, Dr. Mel?
The 50% retracement of those two numbers you gave us, it's 199.9.
Thank you. Let's look at that one.
Yep.
So did we do a 50% retracement on that move that we just looked at? That's what
Yes.
that's what Eric was talking about how there can be many 50% retracements on the chart where it can just keep doing it over and over and over. And you get a chance to play with that. That's why Dr. Melville gave you that challenge to go on the charts and just do at least 5, look at 5 different charts and do the study, do the lesson. And the more you do it, the more you'll be able to recognize it. The more you'll be able to see it. We was looking at a sugar chart earlier today that had multiple 50% retracements on it. It happens all the time, like Eric said, over and over and over again. But I wanted to be clear that we're able to understand the formula, understand what it looks like on the chart. Because when I put that quiz out, I wasn't 100% sure everybody was clear. So I want to make sure we looked at a couple of these charts before we got off, just to make sure we were clear. I want to know if everybody had it, everybody good. Any
Ms.
questions
Sully
on
has a
it?
question, Mr. Wright.
Okay. And then we're gonna, after we open up and have a few questions and comments, then we'll jump off. I appreciate everybody staying on a little longer for us tonight. I know we went over, but Zola, I go to you first. You got a question?
Yes, Asuli. Yes, the question is looking at, are we concerned more about like the area, or does it have to be so precise? Is it in placing the line? Is it whether it's above or below, above the moon, on the moon, or the close of the bar chart? Because that could make a tremendous difference in terms of the.
Well, you're looking at the trend on the chart, basically, okay? The trend. And
Okay.
that's why I want to show you another trend on this chart after we looked at the longest trend that we saw on the chart. The longest trend was the one we did first. And we
Yes.
just used the highest price and the lowest price on that longest trend. And then I wanted to show you that there was another trend
Right.
as well, where we could take the highest of that trend and the lowest of that trend and determine if it did another retracement. So it can retrace multiple times on one chart over and over again. But we just look at
Okay.
each trend individually and just determine did it retrace back half of the trend that it just traded in. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. All right. Yes, I got it. Thank you. A question that I'm still also a little at times confused. Let's say if I look at the retracement where we are right now at 1.9, let's 199.90. So let's say if it breaks that and going up, would that mean that, what would that mean? Where would I take the trade? Where would I place the trade?
So in this particular case, you're talking about are you talking about the retracement that we just covered last?
No, just right here where we are, yes, at 1.99, where the chart is open. I see the line at 1.99.90. And it's going,
May I say something real quick?
yes.
All right. Don't confuse what the 50% retracement we're looking for is really to determine what our risk reward is. So when we want to get into the trade, we're looking for a 1, 2, 3 top or a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And then where are we looking at exiting? Where do we think it's going to go? Well, we think it's going to go a 50% retracement.
Okay, so there are two separate things.
We're looking at our exit point here, not necessarily our entry point. Our entry point is on the 1, 2, 3 top or the 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's always easy to see this when you're looking at a 5-year chart and looking at it in retrospect, right? If I could go back and trade it versus off of this chart, it'd be easy. But what we're saying here and what it's demonstrating is that over and over again, if a market changes direction, it's going to do a 50% retracement, you know?
Okay.
And so if you look, and we're kind of getting off, you know, to where we're getting a little further into the deal. But if you look at this, you'll see a 1, 2, 3 top, which took it down, and then a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and then it went sideways, and then a 1, 2, 3 top, and then it went down. And when it went down, it did its 50% retracement. Right?
Yes.
And then if you'll notice, after this, after it hit the bottom, it did another 50% retracement up. And then the next one, it wasn't 50%, it was 100%. It went all the way back down to its bottom. So it started a sideways trough. Right?
Okay. Yes.
But so when we look at options, those are some of the things we're going to look at is what are we hoping this will do based on history, and the 50% are based on formations like a 50% retracement. Then we will look at that's our goal on profit. Is that a good way to say that, Delvin?
Yes. But I want to make sure we say to the new people, for those of you who are on the call, coming around, taking the class for the first time, you may hear Johnny B talking about some things that you haven't heard yet because we haven't covered formations that we watch for. So don't get overwhelmed. You're gonna get full explanation and understanding of what this 1, 2, 3 he's talking about is. Okay, we're looking at 50% retracement right now. First thing we've covered so far on the chart, but we will be getting into the formations that he's talking about. Right now, I want to be sure y'all was clear on this. That's why I went back to it one more time. But that formations and that we watch for, we will be covering that. So just to make sure y'all understand. I know you don't know what the 1, 2, 3s are right now, but that's what we will be talking about. But great explanation, Johnny B. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments in our overtime tonight?
Well, one more thing, and just to make it clear. So if you've looked at this chart and you see it's done a 50% retracement and it's at that level, then you're expecting a change. So that would be an entry point based on what change you think is going to happen. Okay. So I didn't want to suggest that it wasn't something that we look at for an entry level as well.
Absolutely. Great. Any more questions or comments?
Char?
Hello. I do have a question. I just want to be 100% clear. So does the retracement, does it trigger the 1, 2, 3? because I like to, because I'm actually, I want to know, like, is there a relationship between the retracement and the 1-2-3 formation? And I don't know if I'm a little, like, maybe a class ahead, but I know, like, the first two classes, I just don't recall a relationship. So I just wanted to know, like, is there one?
I'm gonna let Dr. Melvin speak on this. I want to be clear, guys. It's important for the new people coming on the call to keep a flow,
Okay.
and it's important that we don't want people confused and feeling lost. So when we start talking about things that we haven't covered yet, it's something that confuses or make people feel like I don't know what they're talking about. We haven't covered 1, 2, 3s at all on
Okay.
this
Yes.
coverage. And to
Okay.
start,
I'm fine with waiting for the next class. I'm just, because as I'm taking my mental notes, and I just wanted to just kind of see, like,
yeah.
exactly. So just to help me understand it all. The only reason why I asked is because when I was doing a little bit of research on the retracement, and when I did the research, it said it doesn't indicate a shift in a larger trend. So I just wanted to see exactly, like, how do they relate? That's all.
So the relationship I want you to be clear about, let me just say this,
Okay.
is that the retracement gives us an indication. If we determine, a lot of times we looked at some charts tonight that have retraced, but we could do the same thing on the chart that hasn't. And the retracement would give us an indication, a target that we could kind of use that the market could possibly retrace back to this area. Not that it definitely will, that it possibly could retrace back to this level because markets retrace back 50% a lot on the chart. But we can use that as a target area to know that the market could possibly retrace back to this point. And that's what the 50% retracement is mainly used for when we looking at it and doing our studies on the formations that we're gonna learn. We want to know where the market could possibly retrace back to. Now we have a target. All right. Then there are certain things we watch for on the chart that we want to see take place and confirm that we're gonna get into. But that retracement gives us a target level to look at. The market could possibly retrace back to this level right here. And it does it a lot. Not all the time, but it does it a lot. Does that help?
Yes, sir. It does. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Any more questions or comments?
I will. We were Suli here. We were looking, here, my mic. We were looking at a 5-year. How critical is it to look at that far back if we're, let's say, looking to make a trade, place a trade at the 6-month or 3 months? I'm just throwing it out there. I guess I'm just from your experience and from the 30 years that Mr. Eric has had and Johnny has had. It's like, how often do you find yourselves going that far back so that way we can be prepared? Is that part in terms of our learning, that it's really how critical it is?
Well,
Can I
I would
answer
say,
this, Mr. Wright?
yes, go ahead.
So Zoe, when you first start, because when Barbara and I first started, all we knew was the 6-month chart. We stayed on a 6-month chart for almost a year because we didn't know any better.
Okay.
And we paper traded off the 6-month. And then it dawned on us to look at other charts when Mr. Johnny, Mr. Joshua, Mr. Wright, they would teach, we would see them switch to a 3-month chart, 1-month chart, 1 year, 5 year. So we started looking at the other charts and doing 50% on those also. And then after a while, you start seeing a trend. Sometimes you'll see a 3, 6-month, 1 year, and a 5-year have the same 50% retracement. But that doesn't happen all the time. It's really quirky. So you have to do different time frames to learn how the 50% relates to other time frames. And if you're seeing it's the same, you have different time frames and the 50% is the same, chances are when it retraces, it's gonna go hit that 50% because it's the same on like different time frames for the same commodity. So that's
Right.
why I say to you guys, take the challenge and do at least 5 charts, because the more you do it, the more it becomes just like blinking and breathing, you know? And so you just jump in and do it, whether you do it right or wrong, just do it so you get the chance to start seeing the different time frames, you know, and you can pick any time frame. You don't have to be stuck like Barbara and I. We just we just stayed at 6 months. But that's
Okay.
not what you have to do. You have all those time frames that you can look at and see how they relate to one another and see what story they give you and see it start tapping on your shoulder and waking you up in the morning.
Great, that's good, because when you did that, we got the assignment, I was going from gold to wheat cattle, feeder cattle, but all stuck to the 6 months. But today I was like, oh, I could go to the other years too and look at that. That not dawned on me going that far back.
Yes,
Maybe a
you may.
year, but
Yes, you may.
not the others. Okay, great.
There are
Thank
no
you.
there
That
are no
really helps.
limits. You get
Okay.
to look at all the stories you want to look at each time frame. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, Dr. Melville. And you know, Zuli, that's why you'll hear a lot of times when we're talking about those different charts at different time frames. You hear Johnny B talk about the fact that there's, you know, there's different data and more information.
Yes.
And that's the difference between those different time frames that Dr. Melville was talking about. It's the data, the information. You get more information depending on which time frame of chart that you're looking at. You know, giving you more history, tell you more of a story of what that market is doing.
Good.
And every one of them had a whole different look. Whether you click on the 3 month, 6 month, 1 year, every one of them gonna look totally different.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will do more work.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I know we did some overtime tonight. We went over. I'm not even sure how long we did. I just know it is because we talked about so much tonight. But appreciate you guys coming on and staying on and being patient with us. You know I went over tonight, so I hope everybody received value from the call tonight. I think it was a very powerful impact, a lot of information. And I hope it was worth your time and you received value tonight. So with that, I want to tell everybody thank you for jumping on.